get started. All right, we are live action.
All right. Hey, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. So it is National Nutrition Month. So we decided what better than to discuss our Daily Essentials Pack. We named this the Daily Essentials Pack because these are supplements that are essential to our body, but everybody needs them. Okay. This is not just for certain conditions. We all need a multivitamin, men's and women's, a vitamin D, and a magnesium. Okay. Ryan, of course, is going to go into detail about all of these, but I wanted to just start off by like, why, get the common question. I eat a very healthy diet. I do everything right. Why do I need to take supplements? Why do I need a multivitamin D, a magnesium? I get this stuff from my food. But the biggest thing is nutritional absorption matters. And I'm going to read up a few things that really affect the way our bodies absorb. So first of all, digestive issues, excessive toxins in our body, which unfortunately, no matter how clean you think you are, unless you're living in a bubble, there's toxins everywhere. We can't avoid them. Pesticides on our food, which is also why we, try to do everything organic. But again, organic is very expensive, as well as depending on where you live, you might not have access to certain organic foods. So you're getting those pesticides. Processed foods, which we know anything that kind of comes in a box or a bag, which, it's kind of like that convenience food that we all go to, certain medications, which I know Ryan will hit on a lot. And then just user variability. Our bodies are different. Our absorption rates are different. So you never know exactly what you're getting from these vitamins. But I will tell you, if you do specific, say, micronutrient testing, you're going to find that you are deficient in more things than you ever imagined. Another thing is our food is not as nutrient dense. That's a big one. Okay, this is a lot of it's due to increasing levels of carbon dioxide in the air, as well as different farming practices, trying to make more mass production stuff. So our soil is depleted of the nutrients. And if our soil doesn't have all the nutrients and we're eating the food that's grown in the soil or the animal that's feeding on the food that's grown in the soil, bottom line is our food is not as nutrient dense as it was 10 years ago, 20 years ago. And I was just reading a study based on like 1950, how significantly less nutritious our food is. So our grandparents were doing great eating, all homegrown and, just natural foods, but unfortunately we're suffering there. So we'll get into that a little more too, but I'm going to pass it over to Ryan to kind of go into detail about our 3 supplements in the Daily Essentials Pack, and then we'll get to some questions along the way.
All right, thanks, Lisa. Yeah, I think today's conversation is as much about micronutrients and nutrition as it is about the daily essentials. And Lisa touched on it. Essentials means that your body, or essential vitamin or mineral, is what your body needs to be. You need to either get it through food or through a supplement. Your body does not make it. So that's what the focus is today. And when we talk about vitamins and minerals, why are they important? Because they're cofactors. They encode certain genes and proteins to make things like hormones. Guys, come on, hormones, ladies, hormones are a big deal. Neurotransmitters, obviously serotonin and dopamine are the 2 most common that we hear about. So mood health and mental health. And then of course, other things like enzymes, which metabolize and rid our body of toxins and break things down for us. So, they're involved in just virtually every aspect of the body. And so we're going to start. We got to be kind of fast. There's a lot of content here, so I don't want to really kind of veer off too far, but we're going to start on the multivitamin. Roughly about 9 out of 10 people are deficient in at least one vitamin or mineral. So for us, it makes sense that we kind of created a multivitamin, and we tailored this with purpose. We tried to make it intentional, right? So on the men's vitamin, there's like 24 vitamins and minerals, and we chose the ingredients to be the most bioavailable, the ones that are the most likely to absorb and to distribute throughout your body and be used by your body, right? So that's kind of the premise there. The men's version, we added lycopene because it's a very potent antioxidant that's been shown to benefit prostate health. We also have a lot of glycine, which is good for muscle health. We added a full B complex to both multivitamins. And Lisa, I know she gets a lot of questions on B vitamins, guys. So the B complex, they're essential. They're water soluble. So yeah, that's really important. But one of the favorite things about this for me was like, when you're looking at vision support and vitamins for vision, based on the ARID study, and they're expensive. I mean, these vitamins are really expensive. So we were able to source lutein and zeaxanthin. They're the two pigments in the marigold flower, those bright yellows and oranges. And they're actually very common in the back of our eye, in the retina. They are responsible for absorbing blue light. Now, look at us here, we're in front of a computer. I mean, our kids, and yeah, I mean, we're sitting around on our devices and our phones constantly. Vision loss is happening at a much younger age and an unprecedented level. So to have all that in a multivitamin is just so huge. And that's men's vitamin. By the way, they're all vegetable capsules, so soy-free, dairy-free, gluten-free, common allergen-free. And then the women's version, we added iron. We wanted to add some iron to support women's needs, as well as we put in cranberry extract. Cranberry extract has been shown to be it's a potent antioxidant, it's very beneficial for urinary tract health. And of course, that is something that's more common in women than men. You know, and it also has all the B vitamins. And again, the B vitamins are methylated forms. So we always try to go with what's most bioavailable. So the B12 is methylcobalamin. The folate is a methylated version of folate. So yeah, that's a really important aspect to the multivitamin. Multivitamin, how to get the most out of it. Do you want to say something?
Well, I was going to say,
Yeah, jump in.
two questions that I commonly get. Ryan touched on the B vitamins, but
Yep.
I constantly get, you know, my doctor says I'm low on B12. What can I do? It's typically the B12 they measure. But again, in the multivitamin, and another one that's very common is I am postmenopausal and I should not be taking iron. Are you going to have one without iron? Well, women, you can take the men's.
Yeah.
It is formulated without iron. Just because it says men, it's okay.
Yeah.
You can take it. So that's what I always recommend for those postmenopausal women that cannot take iron.
Yeah, no, I was just going to comment the best way to get the most out of it, because of the B complex and the B vitamins are so involved in energy production, that I would suggest taking it earlier in the day and taking it with food. So maybe that first meal of the day, whatever time that is, that's probably the best time to take the multivitamin. That's going to help you out the most. All right, let me just jump in real quick. I want to see if anybody has any questions, because again, we're going to move through. I want to move through. There's quite a bit to cover. Lisa, is there anything else that you want to touch on before we move on?
Not necessarily in the multi.
Okay.
I'm just trying to see right now if some of these questions are coming in.
Yeah,
for
unrelated to what we're talking about right
Yeah.
now, though. Unrelated.
And you mentioned though taking this in the morning more so because of the B vitamins and the
B vitamins, and also some of the ingredients are fat soluble, so taking with food is going to help, is beneficial.
Right. So
right.
example, like you want to take it with a fat, or
with fat,
food in general,
food in general, but yeah. What would be a healthy fat though? Because we're going to talk about that with vitamin D. So what would be a healthy fat for like the first meal?
Okay. Adding some, eggs and avocado.
Yeah.
I mean,
okay.
Perfect example there. Even
Great
just
example.
eggs itself, because you know that you've got the good healthy fats in the yolk.
All right, so let's move on. We're going to move on, but I want to tell you something, guys. This is really important to keep in mind. You're going to notice that there's two other essential, so we have vitamin D3 and we have magnesium. Now, we did take those out of the multi. We also left out calcium. There's a reason behind that. There's a clinical reason for that. So if you're going to need to take calcium, I want you to focus on calcium. Buy the most bioavailable form of calcium. There are lots of different calciums available. Know how much you're taking. Monitor your levels. You may have to move it up and down. You can't do that when it's packed in a multivitamin. Magnesium, and that's kind of the premise with vitamin D. That's why we didn't put the vitamin D in there. Plus, it's a volume thing. How much can you actually get into these capsules? I mean, with the vitamin D, it's the same kind of concept. It's fat soluble, so it can build up in the tissues. We wanted to leave it out of the multi so that you could custom tailor your dosing. Magnesium, we left out of the multi because it can actually interact with things. It can chelate and bind to certain things and other ingredients. So we've gotten the same thing. We wanted to have more control over our dosing, and we'll get into that in just a moment. So if
something chelates and binds,
prevents absorption. It locks together.
Okay.
Chelation is just basically locking together, can't go anywhere, it's stuck.
All right.
That's layman's term for it. All right, let's move on to say vitamin D. All right.
Okay,
do you have anything on the did we miss anything? Are we good? On the multis? The multis?
On the multis? No. Let's go through the D.
All right, sweet. All right, we're going to do vitamin D. All right, guys, vitamin D, also known as the sunshine vitamin. That's because your body makes it, right? It's sort of essential. Your body does make it, but it's in response to sunlight. So the problem with that is that imagine northern climates right now. Imagine overcast, rainy, cold skies. You're not getting out. You're not seeing the sun that much. Even for people that are in the warmer climates in the winter and getting out, you're still seeing clinical results in the blood work. Insufficient.
Sure. I mean, we live in Florida, and the majority of people still.
And we still obviously supplement.
Yeah.
But there's a risk reward. You have to weigh out your benefits of being in the sun without sunscreen and exposing your skin to the sun. And that's a whole lively discussion in itself, right?
Mhm.
So sunshine vitamin, the body can make it. And the same way that we supplement with it. So when you supplement with vitamin D, we chose vitamin D3, it's the most bioavailable form. We added it with K2 because there's other benefits, increases the absorption of calcium, helps the vitamin D be more active. But when this vitamin D3 is in your body, it goes to the kidney and it becomes a hormone called calcitriol. That calcitriol is known, it is very highly involved in the bone manufacturing process, really is. It recruits calcium, it brings in phosphorus, it works with the magnesium and the vitamin D. So comes together to build bone health, but that's not the only thing that D's involved in, right? And so D's involved in, we know bone, right? We're talking about immune health now. You're seeing, geez, tons and tons of literature and studies supporting vitamin D for immune health. And of course, I'm seeing it now for energy production. Lots of studies are coming out with energy production as well. Some of you might ask, why can't we get it from our food? Why? Well, you want to answer that one?
Why we can't get it?
Yeah, well, I mean, we can, but why don't we get enough?
Well, it's the same, I mean, our food is.
Unfortunately, our food's fortified with it. So that means that you could eat a lot of fatty fish and get it, mostly fatty fish, but then you'd have to go into fortified foods like cereals and
Right.
milks. But
And also with the fish, then we have to worry about the mercury. So we're told also, only consume so much. So it's like a It's like you're just never getting.
So supplementing with vitamin D, absolutely. Okay, but how much and why? So vitamin D3, 2,000 units. Okay, 2,000 units per soft gel in here. 2,000 is our what we view as the optimal amount of vitamin D3 to reach a healthy blood level. What's that healthy blood level look like? Well, it's measured in nanograms per milliliter. Next time you're a doctor, I would love for you guys, please ask to have a vitamin D test added on. So when you're looking at the hydroxy vitamin D levels, again, it's like the recommended levels are seriously like insufficient in my opinion, right? But like I like to see people over 30 nanograms per ml, right? Lisa likes to go over 50. Yeah, taking way over 50, but vitamin D3, okay, 2,000 units a day should get you to 30. All right, it should get you to 30, maybe a little higher, up to 50. It's up to you and your physician and your blood work to determine how high you want to go. But you need to be careful though, because vitamin D3 is fat soluble. What does that mean? It means it deposits into the tissues. Okay, depositing into the tissues means that it can become toxic at high amounts. So lots of questions come in. Why not a 10,000 unit? I'm a 10,000 unit type of person. Well, 10,000 units a day, you better be monitoring your blood levels. I want you to be working with a physician if possible.
And typically your physician is the one that would recommend a vitamin D 10,000 based on your blood work. It's typically not sold in that high, but we also did. I mean, this is 60 capsules. So we're understanding that some people might need more than the 2,000. So there's 60 in there. So you could take 2 together, you could take three together, but it's the safest way to do this and the most effective way for the majority of people. Right,
and that's exactly right. We want outcomes. We want results, and that's what this is all about, guys. All right, questions on vitamin D. There's just so many questions now. It's hard to screen through and figure out what is relevant.
Well, I was going to say my questions are a lot of.
Well, go ahead, fire. You got it.
Well, no, we answer those. Why 2,000 units? And we will tell you, I had one today. The recommended daily allowance is 600 international units. I mean, we're going above that, obviously. 2,000 because 600 is.
Okay, international units. So the D3 plus K2, we just talked about that. Is 2,000. Good question, Ken. Okay, yeah, because don't forget 1 microgram. So these are measured in micrograms. 1 microgram is equivalent to 40 units. So this is 50 micrograms. It means it's 50 times 40 is 2,000 units per soft gel or per capsule. Per vegetable capsule.
Oh, a real quick question. When to take? I know we talked about taking this fluid.
Yes.
Why would you prefer taking this in the morning?
Oh, yes. Awesome. Thank you for asking that. All right. Vitamin D in the morning with food. How about first meal? Because some people like to fast. All right. So first meal, take your vitamin D. Now studies are supporting the sleep awake cycle, right? They have this huge role in producing melatonin or getting the pineal gland in the body ready for sleep, even early in the morning. It's that whole premise of when you first get up in the morning, you walk outside, those hunters and gatherers, man, boom, sunlight. It's just triggering that sleep and awake cycle. So very important if you can, just take it with your first meal. I don't mind you taking it with the multivitamin. That's not the issue. You can take but take it with food if possible. And if not, that's fine. Take it without food. It'll still absorb, probably maybe not as much, but I'd rather you get it, right? I mean,
and part of our recommendations for sleep, if someone emails me about they need help sleeping, what I recommend, it's always take your D in the morning and take your magnesium in the evening, later afternoon. So you have two of our sleep help aids here.
Yep. I'm sorry, guys. I'm bouncing back. Yes, we did say females can take the male vitamins if you're trying to avoid iron. Yes, that is okay. We did not say that iron cannot be taken premenopausal. That is not what we said.
No, postmenopausal, most doctors will recommend that you do not take iron, but that's based on what your doctor, if your doctor has not told you, because they'll know based on your blood work as well, but you're not losing the iron every month when you're postmenopausal. So that's why.
Yeah. Okay. And everything that's contained in the multi is really designed to be well absorbed. Do you see something?
Okay.
All right. So we're running about quarter after. My goal is to be done about 20 after, 25 at the latest. We're going to move on.
How many international units would you need to take in order to start talking about overdosing of vitamin D?
We chatted about that.
Yeah,
What is overdosing? There's really no easy way to say. You could start talking about blood levels over 100 nanograms per ml. I mean, it seems to be dangerously high and toxic. It can go higher, but again, under the supervision of a physician only. Is my recommendation.
Too, I'm just speaking of, I saw it this morning. And I think I'm going to do, taking vitamin D could help prevent dementia. It was a new study in medical that I saw. I'll post a link to it on our social media.
Yeah.
Okay, well,
all right, guys, let's do it.
The mag.
All right, let's go to magnesium. Freaking magnesium is magnificent. It's the macro mineral.
It is.
Now, I don't macro mineral, not even sure that's a real thing, but macro meaning like, you have to take a lot of magnesium. You have to take more of this mineral than anything else. In foods, yes, it's in some foods, but even so, we need to get some out of the supplements. So why magnesium? Why is it so important? Why is it so magnificent? 300 biochemical reactions in the body, definitely involved in like mostly enzymatic reactions. So enzymes, it's responsible for everything from, how about this? We know for sure it's involved in heart and blood pressure. Like if you're a pregnant woman and you go in and you have preeclampsia and high blood pressure, that hospital is going to put you on magnesium.
Right.
They're going to use magnesium to reduce your blood pressure. And it's a known thing, guys. And look at literature, it supports it 100%.
And what Ryan said, though, it's involved in over 300 enzymatic reactions in the body. So think about if you're deficient in magnesium, all these reactions that are taking place all the time, every single day. There's a gap there. It's not, these reactions are not going to take place if you're deficient in this amazing.
And it is essential. Body doesn't make it. You got to supplement with it. All right. So we're talking about blood pressure, heart regulation. Yes, of course. We know bone health, guys. So we just talked about vitamin D. We talked about with K2. It helps increase the calcium uptake. And of course, it works with magnesium, bone health, big time. Well documented, supported 100%. Stress response, definitely being used now in the stress market, big time, because it's also very beneficial in the sleep. So sleep stress has a lot of stuff in common. And I'm gonna pause there and just talk about the way I like to use magnesium, because I want to make sure I make a point of that. So magnesium, I do not take it I don't have to take it with food. I do not take it with my multi or my D. I use it right about lunchtime and again before bed. So 2 capsules a day, I split it. I do 1 at lunch, 1 before bed. Helps with the afternoon stress kind of response that kind of amps up. And then again, helps with sleep before bed.
I take mine too right before bed because I have always struggled with sleep. So anything that's going to help me sleep naturally and better. So I take both mine right before bed.
Awesome. Yeah. Muscle, nerve, and energy. Magnesium, muscle, nerve, and energy. It's responsible for building muscle, maintaining muscle, helping with recovery, helping with ATP production. ATP is the energy the body makes, the body uses for fuel. Things that deplete magnesium: caffeine, sugar, stress, like chronic stress,
Alcohol.
Yep, alcohol, anxiety, and I said exercise.
I don't know if we said it.
Exercise. And guys, medication.
And not saying exercise is bad, but too much, like a lot of strenuous exercise will.
Yeah. I mean, that's part of your electrolyte. It's an electrolyte. Magnesium is electrolyte. Just goes.
Gotta replace
You're
it.
flushing it out. So drugs, medications, guys. Drug-induced nutrient depletion. You touched on it early on. Huge. This is not just magnesium. It's so many different nutrients that it's actually a class of its own. Drug-induced nutrient depletion. If you go and you have high blood pressure and your physician puts you on a water pill, the first thing that's going to happen is your body's going to start losing magnesium. So diuretic, I mean, boom, there goes your magnesium. It's just one example. And so another reason why to make sure you're supplementing with magnesium. Muscle cramps, leg cramps, another area that is very commonly used for magnesium. Forms of magnesium.
Yeah.
All right, so that's a big question. We get that a lot. All right, we chose magnesium glycinate, predominantly glycinate and gluconate, because there's a lot of magnesium supplements out there that use things like magnesium citrate. Yeah, sure, it might absorb a little bit, but it's also going to cause diarrhea along the way. I mean, a lot of it has to do with gut tolerance. Like, how much can you handle before it starts making diarrhea? Obviously, enough magnesium, it will cause diarrhea, but so other forms are just less desirable. And then magnesium oxide, super common, doesn't absorb. It's like the worst form of magnesium. I would never recommend it, but unfortunately, we see it in a lot of supplements. So look it up, guys. Magnesium glycinate, magnesium gluconate, two of the most well-known, studied, supported, definitely the best forms of magnesium.
Oh.
Yep. Cool. What else?
You answered my questions there.
Oh, awesome. Did you do vegetable capsule? Soy-free, dairy-free, gluten-free, common allergen-free. Let's see what other questions are coming in.
You know what? I do actually get, I do want to say that the vitamin D is not vegan.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's
Not
from
vegan.
sheep's wool.
The capsule is, but
Yeah,
the D comes from sheep's wool, because I do get that question a lot.
All right, look, guys, that's 21 minutes after noon. All right.
Let's just
Yeah, go
one
for it.
quick little plug here. So
Yeah.
this lovely
Yeah.
pack right here. Okay, this is only $29.95. So
Yeah.
for the 3 supplements,
that.
you select your men's or women's, and then the other 2 come with.
Yeah.
Okay, so again, these 3 supplements, $29.95 for members. That is like ridiculous. 3 supplements for $29.95. If you are not a member and you want to buy retail, $49.95. Still a great deal, but obviously, members get the better of the deal.
Yeah, sure. All right, and any questions, other things that we did not touch on, anything you want to know about this, please feel free to reach out. We are happy to help you in anything product related. What else?
Yeah, shoot us an email.
Yeah. Oh, guys, one other thing too. It's not here, but it probably should be. It might be in the future, and I'm not sure if it will totally. But factor 4, it should be on this little podium, because it's an essential in my mind. It totally fits the Daily Essentials pack. It supports the body in so many ways. It complements these products incredibly well. But for right now, it's not part of the Daily Essentials pack. If you go the Daily Essentials pack route, make sure you guys add in the factor 4. It's really important for sure.
And if you want to learn more about the factor 4, Ryan and Ben did a great YouTube video for YouTube on it. So check our channel, scroll up, find the factor 4. You could learn all about that one as well. Yeah.
And this would be considered foundation. Like, obviously, we're just making sure that you understand how we view the foundation of health and micronutrients. We realize that supplements are one part of it. The other pillars of health for me anyway are, obviously nutrition, which I'll bring in supplements into that. Hydration is part of that nutrition category. So stay hydrated, make sure you're working on your stress and that sleep response. Work on those 2 together. Fitness, building in that exercise, moving more, just move your body, of course, and then socialization, getting out and about and interacting with people. Are those areas that can help improve your overall health and increase your longevity.
Right. And remember, supplements are to supplement a healthy diet.
Correct.
Okay. So you got to do it all. You've got to do it all.
Correct. Cool.
Right? And in honor of, again, National Nutrition Month, let's do this all together.
All right, guys.
All right.
All right. 23 minutes after, we are out of here. Y'all have a great week. Okay. Talk to you later. Bye.
Bye.